Hey, what's up, guys? To Intuitive 717 here. I am back with another reading. I hope you guys are doing incredibly well as always. We're going to dive into the Divine Masculine Collective, and I'm going to bring through a message I've been picking up on. I've been trying to piece it together and just really put into words what it is I'm sensing for the masculines. And I really do feel like a lot of them are going through a lot of like tower moments, dark energies around them, a lot of realizations as well. It feels like they're awakening to karmic energies around them being family and friends. And that's a tough one on the journey. I feel like a lot of your masculines are waking up and realizing like some of their destinies have been either swapped or like botched. I'm hearing a lot of your masculines know that they have this energy within them to do amazing, big, grand things. And they're realizing that they chose to invest their time and energy and loyalty in the wrong places, and now they're paying for it because those people that they chose to invest their loyalty into have now turned their backs completely. Okay, so I feel like a lot of your divine masculines are looking at the two paths. Okay, so there's the path with the divine feminines, and it's part of their spiritual awakening. I feel like they think that if they would have taken the path to honor their feelings for the divine feminines instead of feeling like their attraction to the divine feminine was never going to be approved by this path over here. Sorry guys, I'm going to have to do it this way because it's I can only see it kind of thing. So I feel like loyalty is a big thing, and that's why I feel like the karmic energies here would have been family and friends for this particular divine masculine I'm picking up on. Now, there was the path with the divine feminine, and then there was the path with honoring family traditions, is what I feel. When the connection started with you, divine feminine, you did not fit into this path, okay? It could have been a culture difference, an age gap. Maybe you guys lived in different countries. Maybe one of you was married. Maybe both of you are married. For whatever reason, they're definitely two very different paths. Now, a lot of your divine masculines, I feel like stepping onto this path with you, divine feminine, the path with you, there's just darkness ahead. You cannot see, okay? You can't see where you're going. It would have taken them to trust you, that your intuition knew where it was taking you both, okay? And with this other path here with family and friends and traditions, it was very clear, okay? It seemed as though there was greenery, there's beautiful grass, they can see the path ahead. It's filled with, their family, their friends, people they grew up with. Whereas the path with you, just darkness, okay? But the interesting thing I'm seeing here about this vision is as they continue to walk this path, the further they got, the darker it became. So all of this greenery and beautiful scenery in the beginning, they chose it because of that. Okay, whereas you, divine feminines, it may have started off dark, but along the way you might have lit a fire, and then you might have put together some branches and, built yourself some shelter and stability, and then further along the way, hell, you might have met a magical elf, and it was like, hello, let's make all your dreams come true for you, little lady. And you are all of a sudden living this dream life, and this path here that they took because of loyalty and tradition and all of these things just continue to get darker and darker and darker. So that's the best way I know how to kind of show you guys this energy of what it is I'm feeling and what a lot of your masculines are going through right now. I do feel like a lot of messages around like destiny swapping. So a lot of your divine masculines can feel like, like their friends or like family around them, the closest people to them, drain their energy and decided to use it to prop themselves up. A lot of your masculines are going to feel this intuitively. They don't know how to explain it, but it feels like somebody around them is living the life that they were destined to live. And many of them are starting to feel like their energy is leaking out. Like, wait a second, something's off here. Something's not right. Okay, many of them, of your masculines, are now starting to acknowledge that even you, divine feminines, you've been under attack by some of their family and friends closest to them, okay? And the thing about that is they're starting to see that You've learned so much along your path. You have so much protection. Not only did you meet a magical elf, you met a scruffy little elf too that was like, you need somebody for security? And so, you got this scruffy elf on your team now who's willing to, shove for you if any of these karmic energies interfere in your life. And I feel like a lot of your masculines are like, damn, like, how do you do it? Like, I'm over here getting hit left, right, and center. So this big awareness now, this big clarity is, I feel like a lot of your divine masculines are awakening and they're stepping into the dark side, okay? Before, they did not believe in like this spiritual path. They didn't believe it was possible for spiritual warfare to be going on. They didn't believe in like your spiritual gifts, divine feminine, the fact that you were intuitive. I feel like many of you may have spent quite a bit of time I feel like digesting a lot of the spiritual stuff on this journey, a lot of the awakening that you were having, a lot of the spiritual gifts. You did not take that lightly. Like, many of you were like, shit, I need to isolate. I need to cut everybody off around me. Many of you weren't scared to do that. You were like, no, I need to pay attention to this assignment. No, don't ask me no questions. I need to cut everybody off. You weren't worried about looking strange, hanging out with a magical elf and a scruffy elf in a dark forest. Like, a lot of you were just like, no, like, this is where I'm supposed to be at, right? Many of you weren't afraid to like break the tradition and not give your loyalty in places where it was undeserving. And a lot of you were like, no, I'm going to use that energy of discernment. Like, listen, I've experienced enough toxic cycles with you. Cut off. I don't like the way you talk to me. Cut off. A lot of your masculines really struggled with this on their path, guys. Okay, a lot of them are starting to wake up and realize, like, they're feeling like that chum energy, like people around them have basically, your masculines are a star, okay? And I feel like the karmic energies around them, I see a lot of males around your divine masculines. Like, they might have a lot of cousins, a lot of uncles, just a lot of boys, like a lot of, men around them. And they've literally tried to bury that star energy when it comes to your divine masculines. I feel like for the divine feminines, many of you, know that your very presence might make people feel a certain type of way. And that's why many of you in the divine feminine energy, you do not care to keep a circle around you. You do not have a big circle of friends because you know energy too well, and you know right off the bat when people don't have good intentions for you. Right? Many of your masculines, they were so blind to this gift of theirs, right? So they talked too much, they shared too much, they gave too much, only for people to literally take that energy from them and basically use it to destiny swap. The destiny that a lot of your divine masculines were supposed to have, they basically got all of that light stolen and taken from them by constantly engulfing them in responsibilities, conflict, drama, like financial issues. Always, like, the minute your divine masculines start building themselves up, a karmic will swoop in. Somebody needs to be taken care of, right? Your masculines need to work harder and harder and harder because the money just needs to be coming and coming and coming. Yet they can't get anywhere with it. Why am I having to work so hard and I can't seem to get anywhere? So a lot of them now at this time, they're really opening up their eyes to the fact that the people closest to them, like, this shit is real. They have been having a lot of spell work, magic done on them, black magic. And it's not to say bubble, toil, and trouble. It's just with people's intentions, the consistent thoughts that people have had about your divine masculines. I feel like all of that is being purged. All of it's coming up to the surface. And now it feels like a really lonely path for a lot of them because, again, like, I'm seeing many of them feeling so terrible about a lot of the time and energy and loyalty that they invested into this path. And it's so, like, it feels like a hit to the stomach when they look at the path that you're on now, divine feminines. Like, I feel like many of your masculines now are like, if I had only, believed in this stuff, if I had only invested in the right places, if only I didn't misjudge you, if only I could think for myself and I was autonomous and I was able to stand up to, these people or the mission that was presented to me. Like, that's what they feel, like the assignment. They feel like they effed up on the assignment. It's like now they're seeing it clearly, but it's feeling like it's a little too late. A lot of them might feel like they're running out of time, or, it's like a whole span. I'm hearing like a whole decade passed where they feel like they just gave and gave and gave and gave and gave, and now that when it came time for them to collect on a lot of that investing, it fell flat. So yeah, that is the energy check-in, guys, that I am feeling for the divine masculines. I'm hearing stay away from gimmicks. A lot of them got wrapped up in gimmicks and shortcuts, and the people that they were with on this path convinced them to get wrapped up in stuff that would, oh, here's a shortcut, let's take the long way around. Or not the long way around, sorry. I think they ended up having to take the long way around, but they thought it was going to be like a shorter path, but they ended up having to go like the long way, or they experienced many, many, many more delays the more they decided to give their loyalty in these places. Okay, so a lot of them, they could be really, really quiet right now, very secretive. If many of you try to reach out or communicate because you're in a really good place, divine feminines, it may be met with just silence, because they are having a hell of a breakthrough right now with the people closest to them. It feels like, kind of like a knife to the chest type of thing, right? Like, imagine investing like the last 10 years into trying to be a good son, trying to be a good partner, trying to be like just part of the family, where it's like everybody comes to you, no problem, you try to help everybody out, you're always there for everybody, only for these people to kind of turn their backs on you in the end. Many of them are starting to see the karmic patterns, that people are who they are, people aren't going to change. I feel too like a lot of your divine masculines, they're craving a lot of your optimism, your positive energy. Like, they are not in a good place right now because of the environment that they're in. Like, the environment is what needs to change. The environment is what needs to be cleaned up. And they've resisted that path for so long because they were so afraid to be lonely. But they ended up lonely anyway, except they've exhausted all of their resources in the process. Okay, so that is the energy, guys. I'm going to get in and we're going to try to see what comes out in the cards as well that can just maybe give us further perspective, or even just validate some of the stuff that we went through. Okay, so what else is going on for the divine masculines? Okay, so yeah, part of the past, feeling a lot of that lack and suffering. So this is why they could be silent, because again, this is the knife to the chest energy I'm talking about. Okay, they don't know why they keep experiencing so much lack. They've worked so hard. They've given their loyalty. They've been such a good person, but it's like I feel like a lot of them thought that they chose the right thing. They thought that they were doing the right thing, but they're starting to see that many of these people around them don't appreciate, don't care, simply just want more and more and more and more and more at the divine masculine's expense. Okay, many of them are feeling it in the body as well. Like, their bodies are trying to signal to them through fatigue. It's like no matter how much rest and sleep they get, their body's trying to show them that you're not going to feel better unless you change your energy, because the reason you feel tired is because the people around you are leaking out your energy without pouring back into you. So you're going to continue to feel a sense of lack, right? You could get an instant inheritance, divine masculines. Okay, you could have 30K land on your lap, and with these karmics around you, it'll be gone by tomorrow. Okay, I feel like a lot of them are experiencing that. It's like no matter how much finances come into their hands, no matter how much they work, it just gets eaten away. It's the universe's way of showing them that something is taking from you, something is leaking out your energy. Okay. And you're going to continue to experience, moments of rejection, loss, feeling fragmented. I feel like unless you change the environment, many of them need self-care. A lot of them are realizing that they can't break toxic habits like substance use, all of these things, because of these same people that they're spending time with, right? How are you going to try to quit drinking and smoking when the very people that you spend time with, that is their hobby, right? Every time they're trying to call you, it's to be in those types of environments, right? So many of your masculines who are realizing their lack of discipline as well on this journey. Okay, so many of them are starting to bunker down and take care of themselves, because one thing that they really want to achieve this year is to build back a lot of that solid foundation in, like, their finances. They want to have more structure in their lives. This is a direct inspiration as well from watching you, divine feminines. I feel like you are literally living the life that was supposed to be theirs. You're doing things in your life, divine feminine, that many of your masculines dreamt of doing, and now they're having to watch family members of their own, friends, you know, friends who are now becoming very distant, literally steal their ideas, or again, that go-getter energy, that ambitious energy that they had, spent enough time around your divine masculines, took that energy and then turned their backs. So many of them are going to have to rebuild a lot of the solid foundation, the structure and forming, but it's going to have to be through like self-care, being on their own. And I think that that's been the scariest thing for like a lot of the divine masculine collective, is again like having to forsake tradition, right? To be autonomous, to be authentic and do your own thing. They're feeling really silly for having to choose, you know, just go along with family tradition. I feel like many of your masculines could be very like much older in age, and it's like they still do what mother tells them to do. I don't know why I'm getting that for some of you, but mother doesn't always know best in this situation, and that's what I feel like a lot of your masculines are maybe realizing at this time. All right, guys, so that is what I have for you for this quick check-in with what is going on with the Divine Masculine Collective. I hope that maybe there was something in there that was helpful for you. I do offer personal one-to-one sessions over at hipsy.com. You guys know where to find me. I do have membership videos as well where I tap into my own personal journey to help give you guys even further clarity and just to let you know you're not walking the path alone. Join me, guys. I love you, and I will catch you in the next reading, okay? Take care, guys. Bye.